Hi, my name is Ashley Christensen, and this amazing new strategy is called the Final Word Protocol. So the Final Word Protocol is an amazing discussion-oriented based strategy that allows students to be able to understand and reflect different points of view that regards the novel or the text of your choice. So, how does this work? So, the Final Word Protocol, it is a really fun writing strategy that allows you to argue your point of the book. This allows you to look at different viewpoints of themes or main topics of choice to be argued over. Everyone takes a turn being the main speaker. And then everyone gets a turn to rebut the statement. And then this will also be a group-based strategy, so you will have to get into groups of 3 or 4, depending on how many students you have in class. So the other question is, why is this useful? Well, this allows students to be able to expound upon their oral and listening skills because as they go through, they're going to have to speak in front of different people. And then whenever someone is talking, they have to be silent. This allows them to understand and reflect upon what the person is trying to say. Students will be able to present their topic of choice that will have different viewpoints that allow for open-mindedness. Open-mindedness is a key factor whenever you are engaging students because students have different thought processes. But if you allow a student to have an open mind to be able to reflect and understand different viewpoints, they'll be able to get a deeper grasp of the novel. And then students will be able to take a closer look at the book, like I've said previously. Students will actually be able to take a deeper understanding of the novel and maybe will be able to analyze the text even better than they did before. And they'll be able to spot different things that they may have not realized. This also allows for critical thinking skills to overcome and come into play. So, question is, how does this work? Students will read a text and identify 3 things they want to discuss and gather in groups of 3 or 4. So, during this presentation, we will be using the book The Great Gatsby. There will be some examples of how this works. So student 1 will have a minute to make an opening statement, and the next 3 students will each have a minute to rebut student 1's opening statement. Student 1 will then have a minute to make a closing statement. Each student will each have a minute to say something. The only one that has 2 minutes to say something will be the first student. They'll be making the opening statement and they'll be making the closing statement. One of the key factors here, though, is that the students who are not speaking will have to be silent. This engages their listening skills. This will allow them to reflect and understand what each student is trying to say. They will be able to come together later to be able to discuss and strategize to figure out how to make a paragraph. So, this will have about 3 or 4 rounds depending on how many students there are, because each student will take a turn at being the main speaker. And each student will take a turn at being a rebuttalist. And so, let's go ahead and get in to see how this actually goes down. So, we're going to go ahead and use an example of using Great Gatsby. So, say the topic of choice is Daisy left Gatsby for a richer man after Gatsby went to war, which is a very true statement and can be found in the novel. But, here's the other thing. So, the students are going to be able to rebut this statement by using different examples. So, student 2 could go ahead and say, Gatsby didn't have to leave to go off to war. Daisy already loved him. See, I don't like this one because there's no evidence that supports this. Student 3 says, Daisy fell in love with the man who Gatsby claimed he was, which is true because of the fact that Gatsby actually was the man who pretended to be a rich person before he actually ended up telling Daisy the truth. And then this is evidence throughout the entire novel, which is why I like student 4's the best. Daisy is a shallow woman who will go to whoever shows her attention. Obviously, each student will have a minute to expound upon this and use the evidence. But this is their arguing statement that they've decided to make whenever they first open up their rebuttal. So, each student, like I've said before, will have their chance to state something. But one of the key things is this. I need evidence. You need to use evidence in this because this is supportive. This allows for what they're saying as a rebuttal to make sense and will uphold their argument even better. So one of the key things to make the strategy works is by using evidence that supports novels such as quotes, page numbers, or chapters. Example, on page 14, Tom shows how money-oriented he is when he sells a dog that has questionable origins to a lady for $10, and then he lies about the sex of the dog. This is a very clear statement of how you could say, let's say for the topic, Tom is a very money-oriented person who loves nothing more than his own money. Which is true because of the fact that you have evidence that shows that he ends up selling a dog to a lady that has questionable origins, and then he also lies about the sex of the dog. And then you can go on to say that Tom is also he's also very money oriented, and he's not a very good person because he ends up cheating on Daisy with a mechanic's wife. Her name is Myrtle. So, in all, how is this going to go ahead and go down? So students will be able to improve their oral learning skills as well as their listening skills and be able to expand upon this knowledge with presentations and skit. Presentations you can use such as expounding upon a topic of interest, and then have the student go up forward in front of the class and go ahead and make a short PowerPoint or show a video of how they believe that this person is what their topic of interest is. And so you can also make a skit using different literacy narratives. You can use it, so maybe you can do a different type of ending, or you can use character development. But throughout the entire thing, you're going to have to focus on one main aspect. You can also make it use as charades, have a student act out their topic of interest, and have the rest of the class try and guess what chapter or what topic of interest it is. So the different points of views will allow them to become open-minded to a text. Open-mindedness when you're reading something is very important because it allows you to read between the lines. This is extremely important because of the fact that you'll be able to gain a deeper understanding of the novel. And so students will be able to discuss different points in a safe environment. Students will be able to have the free rein to discuss what they're thinking about when it comes to being open-minded. Because of this, if you're in a classroom, you're in a safe environment, you're able to discuss this. And so I'd like to say thank you for listening to my presentation, and I hope that you will be able to use this strategy in your own classroom, because this strategy has been very useful, and it is a great strategy to use, because by the end of this, you'll be able to have the students be able to write a short paragraph just explaining what they discovered and how they are going to use it later on in life. So I appreciate your time, and thank you very much.